Hello and welcome yet again to another Learn Sanskrit video. We are going to do some exercises today, and this is the second exercise video out of 3 for lesson 9 that we're doing today here now. So here on the screen I have the usual PDFs. I have one PDF for the exercise sheet or the exercise document. You can print it out and you can write on the lines and solve or answer the 6 questions there, and then we have the solutions document, which is also 6 sentences, and you have all the 4 lines there. So these are downloadable in the description. There's a link there, and you're welcome to use them. If you don't want to use them at all, then you can just hand copy these sheets I have here that I'm going to write on right now. So I'll be stopping 5 seconds. I'll stop, so you can stop the video 2 times, and you can hand copy them down onto 2 sheets, and then you can try to solve them before you watch the rest of the video. That's the plan. And if you don't want to do that, you can just hang on here and then we'll continue solving them. So you have to wait 10 seconds and then we are on our solving excursion. Okay, so 5 seconds now. B1. And here's B1 part 2, 5 seconds. Alright, let's get going. Okay, so we have Janakaha, and we always start with transliteration when we come from Devanagari here. Janakaha cha balaha long adar cha kadataha and then end of sentence, and then another one, tau sidataha. Like that. Okay, so we are doing our eswo now, English with Sanskrit word order, and we have Janakaha here, the father, and here comes the cha. Well, we can talk about that in a minute. And we have balaha, the boy. We have another and then we have kadataha. So it's kadati, something about eating. But the question is who's eating, and the ending there reveals that it's second person, third person dual. So so they, third person they, and then dual, to eat. And what about the ands? Well, the question we always ask when we see a conjunction, whether it's and or whether it's or, the question we ask is, what do they connect? Well, they connect two nouns. So it's a word connector. Cha works as a word connector in this situation. And then of course we see that we have two cha, and they are connecting. It's the same group, so one cha per word. So then we can conclude that we have syntax B. Syntax B. Alpha, beta. So it's beta in this. Okay, and so then, well, we shouldn't write it on that line. We should write it on our eswo lines. Sorry about that. We should write it here and keep the transliteration line free from extra baggage like that. So all right, so so that's basically the first sentence there, and then the second one, tau, and that's a pronoun which means they too, but it's not only that, because it's a masculine variant, so we have to beautify this pronoun with more information. And then they are sitting, and we see here the ending is the same as in kadataha, so it still is the same they two. Well, we don't know if it's the same they two, but it's another they two. But now it's not about eating, but about sitting. So they two sit, and this fits well with the pronoun, because the pronoun is also in third person duo. Okay, and so our English line then becomes, we clean it up a little bit, the father and the boy eat, and then they two and we do write the M here. That's a little too close there, a little space there. They two sit. And another thing we must do on the English line in this case is to also beautify this and with the B. Because remember that the rule here on the English line in this course is that everything has to be retranslatable into Sanskrit. And if we leave this B out, we cannot clearly indicate that we want the B syntax. Because the normal rule in English is that we have for this course is that if you have one and in the English, then you will have one and in the Sanskrit. So if there is no and, if there is no extra and, so to speak, in the English, then we assume syntax A. But in this case, so we must add the B here on the English line, so that we can get the right syntax in the Sanskrit. But of course, if we didn't have that sort of rule or requirement on the English line, then we could have just skipped the B, and we can skip the M, and we could skip so many things. We can even maybe skip the they two here, the two here. Maybe they sit, you could see it right, or something like that. Or, so then it would be sort of more loose. But you can always make another English line 2 here, and then you can do all the simplifications you want. But so these are the rules. Number 2, Gadjaha. Gadjaha. Gachati. Te, cha, gachataha. And ashvaha. Dhavati. So there's an elephant. The elephant he goes. And then comes a pronoun te, but then the question is which one, because we have encountered a couple of them already. So is it a masculine or a neuter, or is it a feminine? And the answer is, because it is dual here, we suspect that this is that te is the explicit subject of the verb agacchataha. It could be something else, but we haven't. In this course, we haven't so far used pronouns in any other position than as subjects. So this is the. So we treat it as a subject because we're only in lesson 9. So it's all right. So we simplify it a little bit here. So we can deduce then that since it is in dual, it must be either masculine or feminine or neuter. So we have they two, FN, feminine or neuter there. We don't know which, either of them. It depends on what in the text, what does this refer to? We don't know. We don't have that sentence before this sentence 2, so we don't know. All right. So, and then we have an and then we have a verb. So gacchataha is going, and agacchataha is coming. So someone is coming, and they too are coming. They too come. And then we have an ashvaha. So we have a horse, the horse, dhavati, he runs. And as usual, this he here is not a biological gender, it's a grammatical gender that points to the masculine masculine grammatical gender of the horse. All right, and then the elephant, he goes. And then we should also be complete here, and we should figure out what type of and it is, and in this time it's a C. It's a clause syntax, and we'll see this better when on the English line. Oh, oops, maybe I'll just use that. So the elephant, we get rid of the hyphens. Mostly the elephant goes. And they too, well, we have one there, but this is a special case. And they too, FN, come. Like that. And then we have sentence, the last one, the horse runs. Okay, I think that's it. And here, of course, we can clarify here that we see when we have this. So we have C1 here, clause 1 there, and clause 2 there. And the and goes after the first word in the second clause. Like that, so right. Oh, well, maybe I should just put it like that, sorry. Well, not like that. Okay, so it's immediately before come there, and so the and comes before come, the verb. Alright, so that's number 2, and we are returning to the acharya here, and we are having 2 long a here, acharya, and naraha, and these are the new words, at least 2 of them. Acharya and naraha are the new words for lesson 9 here. And then we have balaha, and that's from lesson 7. Okay, and then we have a wa here, and someone is drinking, pibati, and kakaha. We have a cha, and someone is looking or seeing something, pashati. Acharya, acharya, naraha, balaha, va, pibati, kakaha cha pashyati. Okay, so the teacher acharya, the teacher, naraha, the man, Balaha, the boy. Wa, or pivoti, he drinks. Kaka, the crow. Whoops. The crow, and Pashati, so he drinks. Okay. So now we have a couple of things to talk about. We have the or here to talk about, and the question is always how. What is the or connecting? Well, or is connecting the teacher and the man and the boy, and these are all words. So we definitely have either an A or an B syntax. But since we only have one or, one wa, it has to be syntax A here. And then we have another conjunction here, over here to the right, and that is and. But that one is not A or B. It's a clause syntax. So we have to write a C there. And we'll see that once more when we are getting to the English line. Alright, so let's do number 3 then. So we have the teacher, and then when we have 3 terms or 3 words, acharya, naraha, balaha, in English, if we only have one va, we always do like this then. The teacher, the man. So we group them with commas, and then we have one or, sorry, not and, or the boy. Or the boy, so he drinks. The boy drinks, and of course here you can the rule here, in terms of the comma, the first comma is not optional, but the second comma could be optional if you insist, but otherwise I'm keeping the Oxford rules for commas here, which are more particular and more detailed, and they are better in terms of clarity. So I think it might be good to use the second comma here also. Alright, so we are, let's see if I have my, where is my, oh, here it is. Okay. Or the boy drinks. Okay. And the crow oh, he's not drinking. Okay, crow sees. So we have to. He sees. So it's a correction there, and another thing then is that, so what we do now is I am marking out clause 1 here. This is clause 1, and then this is clause 2. And each of these could have been a sentence on their own, so that's why we call them clauses. Okay, so another point here is that when we have either syntax A or syntax C, we never have to point it out on the English line. So up here in the first exercise on the top of the page here, we were forced, because it was syntax B, we were forced to put it also on the English line. But in the case of A here, if we were to retranslate the English line here, we would think like this, that okay, we only have one or, so therefore there's only one or in the Sanskrit as well. And here, as regards the and, it's on the student. The student has to know that this is a situation where we have two clauses and an and as a conjunction here. So this should be obvious that this is a C type of and. So if we were to do an English translation, starting from an English translation here on this line here, then we wouldn't need either an A or a C on the English line to be able to produce the exact same Sanskrit like that. Okay, so that's number 3. So the crow sees. Okay, so now let's flip the page here, and we start with number 4. Tvam aham cha no, too much seeing. Prichavo. Nripa. Odhati. Wadati. Cha. Okay, so you, I, and so we are asking. So someone is asking. Who is asking? Let's see. We have an and here, so we can add together, we have one of you and one of me, right? So we have two. And then, but then we also know that when we are using and, the conjunction and, first person always trumps second person. So we have to, our result will have to be first person. So it has to be we two. You, I, and we two ask. And we're not really done, because we have to just clarify what the and operates on. The two terms, the two are words, right? So we have an A syntax, because we only have one cha, we only have one and. You, I, and we two ask. Okay, and then we have the king over here. The king, nrippahap, bodhati, he knows. And vadati, he speaks. And then the same question here, what does and operate on? Well, it operates on the two verbs here. But the verbs are words, and there is only one conjunction, so another A here. Okay, so then you and I ask. The king knows and speaks. And since we have a syntax here, we don't write it in on the English line. Okay, so that's number 4 is done. Five then, okay, atra tish ta taha cha warat taha cha. Tatra acharyaha sidati. Something like that. So here, let's see. Here, someone is standing. But who's standing? Well, it's a third person dual. So here they two stand, and then we have an and then we have the same ending, vadataha, and they two speak. Cha. And the next one is then there, the teacher, He sits. Okay, and now what we need to do is to have to classify the components, or the connecting words or connecting things, the terms for and so we're connecting verbs, and so it's either A or B syntax, but we have one conjunction per term or per verb, so therefore it's B, so it's syntax B. Syntax B. So that should be enough, and then we do our English line then here. And since we don't have any pronouns, we have as a rule, we mark that out by surrounding the subject with a pair of parentheses here. We're bracketing the subject so that we can retranslate and receive the same result. Okay, so here they do stand and speak. And we also must not forget the B here, the B syntax for the retranslation, because otherwise we would just end up with the last and over here. Our assumption would be then that will only be one cha in the Sanskrit, but there are two. So okay, and then there the teacher sits. Okay. Number 6, Nripaha. Gacchati. Agacchati. Cha. Saha. Jayati. Pibati. Cha. So the king he goes, he comes, and this is syntax A. He, pronoun saha, he conquers, he drinks, and two verbs we are connecting, but only one and. Okay. So result will be then the king goes and comes. He conquers and drinks. Okay, that's it for this lesson 9E2. I hope you had a good time. I did, and I am now in the process of preparing for the third and last lesson 9E3, which will be up and running in a few days. So I'm hoping you can get some good exercise done here, and I'm hoping also that you will have a very good day ahead of you. So until next time then, have a great day and bye bye.